takes a touch. Kenzie with it, up over the keeper Delude, and Bedford now has a 1-0 lead.
Lana Morris finds Kylie Morris. Kylie's got a shot at it at the end line, and it's in!
Goal!
Forrester with it, left foot into the middle, off the head, and Diaz with a shot at it, and it's good!
She's gonna make it happen herself. Kenna with the right foot into the box, and a goal for Bedford!
Good evening and welcome to Bulldog Stadium for tonight's Division I matchup between your Bedford Bulldogs and the Pinkerton Astros. I am Lauren Fox, and along with Bill Klein, we'll bring you all the action as the Bulldogs look to get back in the win column after losing on Tuesday in a tough one against Winnacunnet by a score of 1-0. Bulldogs came into that one 9-0. Bill, and the only blemish on that one is a 1-0 loss at the hands of the Winnacunnet Warriors by way of a corner kick that got somehow into the back of the net, really untouched. It was an Olympico, for lack of anything better. We don't have footage of it, but that is what it appeared to be.
And it's not unheard of to put the ball directly into the net. I did it once a long time ago. But I think probably the Bedford girls are happy to be home on this beautiful field on a great fall evening. And they're entertaining the number 6 Pinkerton team. The interesting thing, I think, is that the number 1 team, now we're with the one loss, there's only one undefeated team, and that's Exeter, who we will not see during the regular season.
That will be a challenge, too. Bedford goes in, speaking of a challenge, I guess, the Pinkerton Astros, tonight's opponent, they are no slouch. The Astros come into this one 5-2-2. And so the Bulldogs, before they start thinking about the postseason, really need to consider what's going to happen in the regular season. And these Astros are really the next one that is in front of the Bulldogs in the next sort of mountain to climb before they get to that point. So for Bedford, their starting lineup tonight, many of the same faces, a couple changes. For the Bulldogs, we have Cece Irwin up front along with Annie Zink and Kenzie Forrester, and then the mids, Vashi Bajpai, along with Anna Diaz and Sloan Correa, and then on the back line, Meredith Reich, McKenna Snow, and Nora Ripple. For the Dogs, Carolyn Kemp will be in goal. So for the Bulldogs, it's a change of scenery, of course, from the other day. Winnacunnet is a grass field, and in much the same way that when the Bulldogs went up to Concord and played on that grass field, it was a little bit of slow going. The Bulldogs looked like they were going to struggle early, and it's definitely a less wide-open style of play for the Dogs on grass than it is on turf.
Tonight, the interesting thing about Pinkerton is they've scored 3 more goals than Bedford has, 35 total goals. But that's primarily because they beat one team by a score of 14-0. That was Manchester Memorial. And Bedford comes in with 32 goals scored, only 4 allowed and 6 shutouts as we get going here. Pinkerton allowed 10 goals so far. So on paper, looks like might be in favor of the Bulldogs, but we know Pinkerton is a storied school both for boys and girls soccer. And we're away. Here we go.
For the Dogs, they're going to want to get on the board first in this game. That's going to be what you're trying to do. But right on the move are the Pinkerton Astros, and with a head of steam, Kayla Silvera. But coming up with the ball is the junior keeper for the Dogs, Carolyn Kemp. So thinking about the game the other night, and the Bulldogs had their chances. I will say that Winnacunnet did what your job in soccer is supposed to be. They did an excellent job of keeping the ball out of the net, but not in the way that you would think. The Warriors had defensive players who, every time the Dogs looked like they were going to have an open goal mouth because the keeper was out of position, defensive players and their feet were right there. So it was not a matter of, for the Dogs, as Silvera heads down to the corner and sends it toward the net, but that'll go out of bounds. And I misspoke, didn't identify the number. That's actually Callie Lockwood over here on the left. But what we saw the other night was Winnacunnet with some excellent defense, some very good mids, and they wound up getting one shot out of the foot of one of the Clifford sisters that was the difference in the game, made it 1-0. So with that said, the Bulldogs trying to avenge that loss, and Cece Irwin fights for the ball, shoves, gets away with one, and the ball will go out of bounds off the foot of Anna Martell, and it'll be a Bulldog throw taken by Nora Ripple. it is interesting. I'll let you talk, I promise, to look at these Bulldog uniforms. Of course, everybody, I'm assuming, is watching the game as it's being streamed on BCTV, but we're used to seeing different cleats on players, and right now it's just hard for us to take our eyes off the pink jerseys of the Bulldogs that they're donning for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
And compared to the other games we've broadcast so far this year, it's the only time so far that I can see all the numbers of the Bedford players. It's pretty clear. You possibly can see that as well on your TV set, I'm willing to bet.
It makes it much easier to identify these girls when we're not stymied by who is who. Some different numbers for you. Cece Irwin giving chase right there. Wins the ball. Cece usually wears 8, is wearing 23 today. And Cece will beat her defender. Look to the left side to Kenzie Forrester, but can't find her. And now Bulldogs will hold it in. And Vashi sends one up to the corner. Kenzie will give chase, but it'll roll harmlessly out of bounds for a Pinkerton throw.
When I saw that Winnicott loss, I wasn't all that surprised. However, I don't like the way possibly it was scored. From rumor has it, but Winnicott is in third place. You know, they've got a 7-1-2 record coming to this. Bedford's 9-1. So they're one of the top teams. We don't play Exeter.
It is an excellent Winnicott team, and the other sort of interesting thing is if you were to look at college football and you had a team that was 9-0 and sustained a tough loss off a kind of a set piece, as that, so maybe like a last-second field goal, I guess, if it were in college football, you might not drop them that much. The NH Sports page decided that merited dropping Bedford all the way to 4th in the Division I rankings. Of course, those are unofficial rankings, and it's not like there's an algorithm or reporters voting on it. This isn't the AP poll, but still, regardless, it's not what the Bulldogs want, but what you really hope at this point is that they respond aggressively as the ball is sent up to CC up front and winds up knocking a Pinkerton defender down. The ball will rattle along that far sideline, go out of bounds, and it will be an Astro throw.
You know, we've talked on numerous broadcasts about, a team that might incur a loss for some reason, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. If you don't have any losses, you haven't, at the end of the season, had that opportunity to prove that you can come back from that, in quote, adversity or whatever, the loss, and turn things around. So tonight, like you said, let's look at it from the standpoint of Bedford's going to really be pushing to score more than one goal, probably. Make a statement.
Well, you have been a coach for a long time, or you were a coach for a long time, and when you lose, it's generally easier to find things to work on than it is coming off a win.
Well, that's true in every sport, isn't it?
It's so, yes, regardless of sport, the loss will tell you more than a win will. Going back to that Pinkerton 14-0 win, over Memorial. The Bulldogs played Memorial as well, beat them 6-0, but that was a game that the Bulldogs were working on several other things besides getting the ball into the net. If you had been in that game, Bill, it was a very good display of possession soccer and a very good display of sportsmanship by the Bulldogs. Conservatively, they probably could have scored 20 against that Memorial team. Just keep sending it over top, running the ball, and popping it in the back of the net. But the Bulldogs did what they were supposed to do, held that scoring down a bit, and not the best look in that Pinkerton game. Not the best look at any time when you beat an opponent 14-0 in a soccer match.
No, and sometimes it's difficult to not look like you're deliberately not trying to score a goal, and as a coach, telling the players, hey, don't stop shooting. You still take some shots and whatnot, but like you said, hold the ball, work on passing, work on defensive skills, moving the ball around, getting all the players involved, and of course substitute. And get the players on the field that don't normally have as much time.
And of course, it's in a season like this where you're playing a couple games a week, load management is a vital thing. Cece Irwin goes driving down the middle and winds up getting shoved out of the way by Maura Smith, the sophomore for Pinkerton. This Pinkerton team is a young team. We mentioned Callie Lockwood earlier. Callie's a junior, but a very good player. Maura Smith, an excellent physical player on the back line for this Pinkerton team. And the ball lost there. Annie Zink will thread the needle up the middle to Cece Irwin, trying to find her. And Pinkerton will possess the ball on the far side, but trying to get it back around. But, well, who knows what they'll be able to accomplish. Nice pass sent up there by Annie, just leading Cece a little bit too much.
The last line of the Pinkerton defenders, the fullbacks, whatever you want to call them, they seem to be doing an excellent job, and they are marking up a couple of our players prior to them having a chance to even get the ball.
Nice work on D by the Bulldogs, knocking the ball out of bounds, but unfortunately that will lead to a corner kick for the Astros. And I believe it was Meredith Reich who had the ball go off of her, so Pinkerton about ready to take the kick. Trying to make out a number in the far corner. I think it's Bella Sipple who is taking the kick. And
number 7, I believe.
I had 3. There is no 7. There's no 7 on the roster. At least according to NH Sports page, Bella's got 5 goals at this point in the season. And she will send it up and into the box, and Bedford just trying to get it out of there. Cece in a mad sprint away and winds up somehow keeping it in bounds along the far sideline. Cece finds Kenzie Forrester. Kenzie can't hang on to it, and Pinkerton will send it in. Carolyn Kemp came off the line, but not a whole lot that she could do. If she was going to commit on that one, she would have had to commit just a hair earlier to come out and get the ball, and instead it goes off the boot of Callie Lockwood, and it will be a Bedford goal kick taken here by McKenna Snow.
Real quick, let me sneak in the game prior to this one. Played this afternoon. The Pinkerton Bulldogs boys played, and the Bulldogs scored 5 goals. The first goal, wish I had been able to see it. It was a bicycle kick.
Seriously?
It was.
By whom?
By Ellie Kaplow.
Oh, Eli Kaplow. There you go.
Eli Kaplow, yeah.
All right.
Ali Mirza had 2 of the goals.
And that was at Pinkerton.
This is at Pinkerton.
So
they played at 4 o'clock.
I wonder if they have a camera set up there. They have a beautiful turf field over at their campus.
Other goals were Caden Santier and Jacob Bilecki.
Sent in, and a shot tried by Pinkerton, just couldn't get it at a good level to take a good shot. Now the Bulldogs will try to send it out. Can't do it. They got it clear, though, and that one will head over the end line, and it will be a goal kick from Bedford.
Hey, speaking of a 4 o'clock game and turf and lights that we have here, I've got an answer for you relative to the question that you posed back when we were doing, I think it was the Hanover girls game?
Yes. Annie Zink, a great header up the near sideline, and that one will go out of bounds. The throw will be taken by Anna Martell, but Annie doing a wonderful job moving that ball up the field.
You asked the question with regards to why is there no regular season overtime, and I got an answer. Confirmed. It was due primarily 2 issues, two things. The number 1 thing was so many fields do not have lights.
Okay.
And where you get the darkening early these days, if something happens, games start late, there's injuries, delays, to play overtime sometimes isn't the best thing to be doing because you're in the dark. And sometimes referees are being pressured to stop a match or continue it to get that overtime in. So that was the number 1 thing that the committee came up with. And here's a shot.
Yep. Vashi, a beautiful ball up the middle over to the right to Cece, and Cece just to the right of the keeper, Mlinarski.
I think that was the first shot.
That was the first shot for the Bulldogs.
Almost on goal. It almost looked like it was potentially touched by the keeper.
I'll say Vashi did an excellent job, or she has done the last several games, just making things happen in that midfield spot. And the keeper will send it out after that goal kick, and Bedford will try to control. The Energizer Bunny, Annie Zink, comes out after it. Instead, Nora Ripple winds up with it. Nora using her hands, create a little bit of space, and now sends it back to Anna Diaz. Anna looks to the middle, now back to Anna at the football touch. 30, makes a move, looking up the middle, tried to find Cece. Instead, Maura Smith breaks it up, and Pinkerton will come on right back the other way. And there's McKenna Snow intercepting the pass. Kenna had it go off her foot and thought for a second that she was just going to maintain possession and make something happen on offense. Instead, thought better of it. And now the first touch off the foot of Anna Diaz results in a Pinkerton possession, and back the other way
Nice
the
change
Bulldogs.
of field there.
Annie Zink tries to find Cece. It's off the shin, and it will be a Pinkerton throw with about 28:10 remaining here in half number 1.
Last couple of minutes, it appears that the Bedford girls are playing much more of their style game. The ball control, better passing.
That is something they have worked on, but it is something that obviously you can control. And you can certainly take over a game with it. But this is a very talented Pinkerton team as the ball is lost on the far side. Dog's throw is taken, and a couple headers over there on the far side. Now Vashi tried to send it to the middle to Cece, and Morris Smith will send it out.
As you said, a young Pinkerton team. There's only 3 seniors, 5 juniors.
Callie
Local
Lockwood
players,
to the
sophomores.
middle, broken up by Kenna Snow, and now back the other way come the Astros. Fanning on it is Meredith Reich, and Pinkerton still with it. Bella Sipple just gets turned around a bit there, and now coming away with that ball for the Bulldogs. Sending it to the middle is Anna Diaz, but winds up, or check that, that is not Anna.
There was that close marking.
Addie Kiley is the one who brought it up for the Dogs, but couldn't connect with Cece.
Caitlin McDonough there, just who kicked the ball again. That's that tighter marking that has been taking away a lot of the Bedford play.
Tighter marking, though, takes a lot of energy out of you on defense. So if for Pinkerton to do that, it will sap you a bit. So we'll see if they maintain that strategy throughout. From Anna to Annie, broken up by Smith. And now back the other way come the Astros. Lockwood with it. Nora Ripple doing a great job of just keeping her from the ball. And the Pinkerton fans thinking that a penalty should have been called on Nora in the box, which would have been big time negative for the Bulldogs. But Bill Klein, my good friend, the official here, is shaking his head. Rest in peace to Kembe Mutombo. He was giving the no, no, no. You
replay that in your mind. It was right on the side of the penalty area. It was not a scoring opportunity of any type at all. And minor type of contact. That would have been a horrible call if it was a penalty kick. And I would say the same exact thing if it was at the other end of the field right now.
The first touches for both teams have been lacking. I will say that. To this point in the game, it's I'm not going to go as far as to call it sloppy, but it is not as precise as I would have expected nearly 15 minutes into this game. Just everybody missing their mark by a foot, 2 feet. That one's sent into the box. Carolyn Kemp goes diving to her right and will knock it out of bounds, and it will be a corner kick coming from the near side for these Pinkerton Astros.
Got some substitutions coming in over there. The second part of that lack of overtime, the committee, I talked to 2 members of the soccer committee, and what they said was the second reason is that the NCAA got rid of regular season overtime as well, so they're matching it.
It doesn't mean I have to like it.
No. True.
So now the corner kick coming. Bedford with 4 right up and around the goal.
This is dangerous.
Sent in, very dangerous, and it'll go up and away and out of bounds. It will be a Bulldog goal kick with 24:30 left in the first.
Pinkerton attackers were standing still. The only way to put that ball in the net would have been if they were running to the goal. And the girl that headed it, couldn't tell who it was, but just hit off the top of her head and it's gone.
You're saying because that's how physics works.
You got it.
Cece winds up coming away with it. Now sends it up the near side to Kenzie Forrester, and the ball will go out of bounds. It should be a Bedford throw up there. I believe, don't quote me on this, it looks like Libby Fox is in on the left wing and Annie Zink is down for the moment. And fighting for the ball, Morris Smith and Cece Irwin sent out of bounds there by Smith. It'll be a Bulldog throw over here on the near side. But for the Bulldogs at this point, you have to control, and it will be one touch. But goals have been hard to come by for these Bedford Bulldogs, at least recently. A miss hit there, now sent back to the middle, and to Annie Zink, who's playing striker, and Pinkerton will work to get the ball back out. So it looks like Libby is in on the far wing and Annie is in at striker, unless I'm missing something. And also a number of other subs coming in for the Astros, and we'll let you know who they are as the game progresses. Pinkerton can't control, and it will be a Bedford goal kick coming up. There has not been really any middle ground for the Bulldogs. You either have that 6-0 win against Memorial or a 6-1 against Concord, or a 1-0 nail-biter against Wyndham, or Londonderry was much the same way. That one headed up near side. Cece Irwin with it. Cece taking her time, trying to beat Maura Smith off the dribble. Smith tumbles to the turf. Anna Diaz with it, and knocked away from Anna by Cameron McNulty. And it will be a Bedford throw.
And look at the rest of the season. This game tonight, where Pinkerton is a 6th or 7th team. After this, it goes on the 8th. They're going to play National North, who's in 8th place. And then it goes totally to the bottom of the standings. We're playing Spalding. They're winless at this point. And then you got the 10th, 11th, and 13th place teams, Portsmouth, Salem, and Dover.
Got a handball at the football 37, so Bedford's going to have a chance. I would figure we'll see McKenna Snow come up to take this kick right here. And the Bulldogs will push up to the extent that they can, trying to capitalize on that misplay. It looked like it was Maura Smith who committed that infraction. Yeah, the end of the season for the Bulldogs, and we knew this going in, was going to be a little bit light as far as scheduling went. And a series of road games as well. Kenna sends it in. Ball will be headed there. And Bulldogs looked like they might have had a chance at it. The ball was rolling around, but couldn't quite pivot on it.
Do we have
to
replay?
Make that kick?
Do we have replay? Are we locked into...
I'm not locked into anything. I'm watching soccer right now.
Communication, yeah.
Ball sent in.
Yeah.
And the Bulldogs will keep it in. And now fight for it over on the far side. It's off of pink, white throw. There may be replay. We don't have a monitor. Well, we do have a monitor down here. It's just not on. But so I will assume that there is not. Bulldogs will reset everything on offense and send it to the back line. Addie Kiley will send it up near side, trying to find Kenzie Forrester. The ball will get through Maura Smith, and now she's dribbling into the corner. And will she just send it out, or is she going to try to beat somebody? No. Sends it back toward the middle, and Sloan Correa is going to come up with it. Sloan has it to Libby on the far side. Libby looking back, looks one line back, but couldn't find her teammate. And back the other way come these Pinkerton Astros, a full head of steam down the far side is Sipple, and now Kenna Snow, a masterful pick there. And now back the other way come the Bulldogs. In hockey, they would call it, I think, back checking, where the Bulldogs' offensive players need to do a little bit better of a job playing defense on plays if they might have lost the ball. And for the Bulldogs, that is something you want to work on, just maintaining those possessions. Now the ball sent across midfield, and Smith will take a first touch. She will look to her left, and instead Kenzie Forrester will come up with it. Kenzie looks, finds Cece Irwin. The ball past everybody, now just inside the 18 line, and Pinkerton will send it over to the near sideline and out of bounds. It'll be a Bedford throw with 19 and a half left here in half number one.
Maura Smith is dominating out there, partially due to her size. She's one of the bigger players out there in the field. She's quick. However, the touches are showing. She's a sophomore. I'm sure she's going to improve, but has made a few of those errors, including what you were talking about, the first touch of the ball. And she has typically just cleared the ball without settling it first, and resulted in the ball going to Bedford a couple times.
Changes for the Bulldogs. Anna Diaz will send one into the box. Saved there by the keeper, Mlinarski. But we now have Annie Zink up on the left wing, which is a different place for her, and Kenzie Forrester up here on the right wing, also a different place for her. So see if these two will switch up to their more natural side. But for now, that is where things are. Also, Bashi Bajpai into the game for the Bulldogs too.
A little more than halfway through with no goals scored. The Pinkerton JV game ended up with a 1-0 score in favor of The Astros.
Ball sent up, lost there by Angaro. She hangs on to it just long enough. I should say it was Kaylin McDonough coming up with it. Now the ball sent back near side, and Pinkerton had a chance at it. It was Riley McClellan. Couldn't come up with it, and now Nora Ripple will fight to let the ball just go out of bounds, and it does. Bedford throw far down on the near side.
If you were hash marking the number of times each team has placed the ball, either attempted to place the ball to a player versus space, Bedford is probably 3-1 using space versus 2 players. And that's why they've got probably a 65-35 or something like that advantage on ball control tonight. So.
Yeah, both teams, though, are kind of oddly imprecise, at least at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely not the cleanest game that we've seen from the Bulldogs, not having seen the Pinkerton team this year. And like we were saying, they're a young crew.
Bedford had some points of the season where it felt like they were moving the ball well and very efficient, but today does not seem like one of them. Throw taken by Pinkerton. Bedford will keep the ball in, now sent. Tried to find Cece Irwin. And Pinkerton will keep possession. Anna Diaz with a nice stick there. Now back to Cece, over to Kenzie, who sends it to the middle. Now to Anna Diaz. Anna, great first touch there. Tried to thread the needle to Annie Zink, but couldn't. And now back the other way come the Astros. And signaling for the ball on the near side, Nora Braille. And Nora with her left foot. Ooh, that could have been dangerous. Falls over the ball, not Ripple. Braille, I mean. And now back to the middle for these Astros. And now coming up, making a steal. The Bedford back line, sending it out of bounds. It'll be a Pinkerton throw on the far side.
Yeah, the defensive play by the Astros has really stymied our forwards. We've only had a couple shots, and
we had seen it in several of the games, though. That Wyndham game was decided late. The Bulldogs scored a goal with about 5-6 minutes left in the game and made it 1-0. Wyndham really, their strategy in that game was to hold the ball on the defensive end. And that Londonderry game was very similar. The Bulldogs struggled to get anything going on offense there, and teams are kind of packing it back a little bit and trying to make the Bulldogs beat them. And in this case, we haven't seen Pinkerton. It's difficult for me to say, but they're kind of they're aggressive, but to a point on offense. It seems like their MO is kind of to keep these Bulldogs off the board.
Looking at the way they're aligned, I think they're playing 3-4-3, and but the 4 midfielders are moving back very quickly, as you can see right there, to support the other defenders. So they've got a player advantage: 2, 4, 6, 7, 7 to 4, 7 to 4, 7 to 5 players.
Now back the other way, the Bulldogs. Annie Zink fighting for the ball over on the far side. Anna Diaz thought she could send it back to her defender, but nothing doing. And now Pinkerton sends it up, where the Bulldogs will hold it in and send it to the middle. I'm not sure that's not the scariest play. If you're a soccer coach, you don't necessarily want the ball going in the middle like that, but now Kenzie will send it up to Cece Irwin, and Cece's just having a real tough time getting around Maura Smith more than anything else. You're going to need a ball to get through and beat somebody to the ball. Now Bedford with it, near side. Kenzie Forrester looking up the sideline. Tried to find Cece Irwin, but just a little bit ahead of her, and it will be a Pinkerton goal kick. 14 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see if in the next, we've got 14 minutes left, if the Pinkerton defenders are in fact getting tired, and gives us an opportunity, giving the, I say us.
You're allowed to say us. We're on BCTV, although I haven't heard. I would assume that there have been times that we will simulcast other places. Did not hear that, but.
However, in either respect, the Bulldogs could capitalize on something like you just saw right there.
Now the ball gets away. Cece Irwin fighting for it. Over to the far side to Annie Zink. Annie will hold it in tries to find Anna Diaz in the corner. Anna still hanging on. Anna playing a little bit of cat and mouse down there. Spins, tried to send it to the middle. They said that she was still in. Nope, they said that she went over the end line. It will be a Pinkerton goal kick. I had suspected that she had gone over the end line, but was watching with my heart and less with my eyes, I guess.
It was close. The referee was in a very good position to make that call, and therefore, I'm going to say he was probably right.
You typically will give the refs the benefit of the doubt, though. That's
I certainly try.
You can absolutely understand and empathize with that. Cece now with it up the near side, cruising to the end line. Cece will send it to the middle to Vashi. Rattles around a bit. Vashi tries to steal and come up with it. Can't. And the mids for Bedford had pushed up a bit, making it so the Pinkerton could clear when necessary.
And their number, I don't know if you can see right now on the field, there's 5 defenders back in the Bedford defensive half of the field. There were only 2 attacking players. So again, the advantage was to Concord. Concord. Where did I get that from? The Pinkerton Astros.
Think further south, yeah.
Huge advantage.
Kenzie Forrester with it, winds up getting her pocket picked by Nora Braille, and it goes out of bounds. It will, however, it will be a Pinkerton throw. I think everybody kind of thought that that one had gone the other direction. The players have not shifted the other way yet. And Kenzie with a header. Now Vashi trying to steal it, and
that should go out.
McNulty sends it over to the far side where it will head out of bounds. It'll be a Bedford throw coming. Scoreless game, about 29 minutes gone by here in the first half. And the ball sent toward the middle. Now a mad scramble for the ball. Anna Diaz fighting for it there. Over the near side to Braille. And now try to find Braille from the middle, but goes out of bounds, and a Bedford throw will be forthcoming.
I know that we've talked in the past and joked around, all the broadcasters that are doing the soccer, about this sport being football around the world, and the score right now is 0-0.
Yes, on the pitch. Yeah.
Interesting footnote to the American football. The Bedford Bulldogs are 4-0, and they have scored.
Kenzie Forrester through the seam, and Kenzie will get pushed a bit, but the ball knocked away by Maura Smith, and it will be a Bulldog throw coming from the near sideline.
Bedford football, do you know, Lauren, what their scores have been? Their winning scores have been exactly the same in all 4 games.
Really?
35 points, 35 points, 35 points, 35 points.
It's kind of like the weird Chris Davis with a K with the same offensive stats year in and year out, like 3 or 4 years in a row. Yeah. Baseball, I'm talking.
Corner.
Yep, corner kick coming for the Bulldogs, and boy, do they need it. It's been a minute since they had a set piece.
How do you feel about the Red Sox not being in postseason at this point in time after having spent some time down there at Fenway on a microphone?
The Red Sox are a preferred indifferent in my life. I am indifferent to how they perform. It's generally more fun if they perform well, but so it's a preferred indifferent. How's that?
I get it.
Yes. Corner kick coming up. Nora Ripple sends it into the box, and great job by Pinkerton just sending it out and away, and McKenna Snow will clean things up a bit. Kenna will a mighty
this could be good
kick toward the end line, and Cece Irwin fighting for the ball there, sent up and over, and Anna Diaz with a header inside the box, but covered up there by the keeper Mlinarski, and you are spot on. That really could have been good, the way that it's set up with McKenna Snow having that opportunity to really send one deep. It was almost, for all intents and purposes, a lot like getting a penalty from out there.
Due to my my cataract surgery, I could actually see the spin on the ball. I knew it had backspin, that's why I said this looks good, because it's going to come back, stay in the field of play, and Bedford then is given the opportunity.
That's where I use the golf term that it checked up.
Checked up.
Yeah. If somebody hits one in, I don't really golf much anymore, but somebody hits one into the green, and I don't have time for that. I leave that to everybody else.
Gosh.
But you hit one into the green, and it looks like it's going to come back, and it hits, and it sticks, and comes back a little bit. You see that a lot, where the spin will come back. Cece Irwin goes hard into, or Kenzie, I should say, goes hard into Cam McNulty, and now to Cece Irwin up front. She threads the needle, and
corner.
Maura Smith winds up getting in the way of Cece, but not before the ball goes off of her, and it will be a Bulldog corner kick coming up. We'll see who winds up taking it for the Dogs.
I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Smith there on the Astra side is a track star.
She's a good player,
sophomore.
good athlete.
I can see her as a potentially a hurdler, intermediate distance sprinter. Who knows? She's definitely an excellent athlete.
Nora Ripple will take that corner kick and sends it into the box beautifully.
And
rattles around and in off the head of Bashi Bajpai, and the Bulldogs get a 1-0 lead off a corner kick. I think it might have gone off somebody else before it hit Bashi, but regardless, the Bulldogs get on the board here at 7:40 in the first, and the shot in the arm that the Bulldogs needed.
How important are corner kicks? Back years ago, I actually had done a study, and when I was in undergraduate school, and statistically, more goals were being scored either due to corner kicks or the ball being played wide and attempts to get the corner kicks. And the only thing the difference between our boys team and the girls team here in Bedford is the boys team will do short corners. I don't think we see that done very often from the girl Bulldogs.
So Bashi with the goal, and Lila Yater, the one who got the assist that led to the goal. So the senior being fed by the freshman there.
Lauren, do you know who our leading scorer is?
I believe it is still Kenzie Forrester, but don't quote me on that. Assists I'd be shocked if it was not Anna Diaz.
Yes. I would have just purely guessed that. It's one skill between her and her older brother that they had in common.
Well, they have a younger one who is an 8th grader that hopefully we'll see her next year, who is a defensive player. And so you have Gavin, who was more of a mid, Anna, who is a mid, obviously. And then you have Maddie coming, who plays D. And so they have a large portion of the field covered. Let's just say that.
And a real quick update on Zoe Santos. Now,
there you go. That's some good investigative reporting, Bill Klein.
Hey. Zoe Santos, her team down at the Citadel. She has started and played 90 minutes in 7 out of their 12 games, I believe. And they're 4-6-2, but her numbers are pretty darn good in goal. She's a sophomore. Product of the Bedford Bulldog program.
Of course. The, I believe, winningest keeper in Bedford High School history.
Unless you want to consider Michelle winning a Bedford product, because she, of course, that was at West High, so I guess we really don't count that.
Correct, but Michelle also played out for years.
Yeah.
I don't believe that she went in net until her senior year.
Was it? I'm not positive.
It was,
really?
Yeah. At some point, I have a clipping somewhere on my phone of a profile of her from her senior year back in the day, a minute ago. Now Pinkerton with a chance into the middle for Braille. It's somehow seeing eye kick gets all the way through, and Braille now sends a Bulldog player right to the turf. And Jenna Dindorf will be extracting turf from her arm. Braille with that cast apparently on her left arm, and not afraid to use it.
Yeah.
Kind of in the
years ago, they could not play with that period.
Okay, that's good enough.
And then it changed. As long as it's padded, it would be okay.
I was thinking along the lines of in the NFL when you would have had like Ted Hendricks or Jack Lambert with a cast like that they would just plow right into a quarterback's head.
Yeah. Difference, you've got protective equipment on for the opponent. Here you don't.
Yes, and that's
gaining
understood.
that advantage, you know.
It certainly is.
There was a lot of discussion about that, and it took quite a few years for that rule to be changed.
Now sent out of bounds by Pinkerton off the foot of the defender. It'll be a Bulldog throw coming. Nora Ripple takes the throw, finds Vashi.
Nice.
Vashi tried to control and just couldn't come up with it clean, and it will be Pinkerton throw coming. And that one never found its way inbound from Braille, or into touch, out of touch, I don't know. Hall & Oates.
I think it went in and out.
You're out of touch, I'm out of time.
You're going the other
It may
direction.
have gone.
Yeah.
That may have been what happened.
That's the only time where the official, I didn't think, clearly indicated what had happened. They're both doing a great job tonight, though.
Ball sent away. Also, want to give a shout out to our ball girls tonight. We have not had people playing that vital role at every game. So the fact that we have a small human being down there on the on the track doing that job is not unnoticed and not unappreciated either. It is always nice when we get those BAC teams that come out and bring 4 or 5 players, or JV players stick around to do that as well. So
we have a corner.
And the ball sent out of bounds, and a corner coming for the Bulldogs. 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in the first, and we'll see if the Bulldogs can find a way to get on the board again off the foot of Nora Ripple. Nora right-footed. Ball in the circle. Up alongside the flag, and Nora will send it in. Beautiful ball right through the box. And now chasing over on the far side, the Bulldogs, and trying to send it out was, I believe, Lily Yater. Couldn't. Now McKenna Snow has it. Kenna will send it up into the offensive end. Vashi with it. About 2:15 left here in the first. Vashi loses it. Now Pinkerton back the other way and trying to find pay dirt are the Astros, but instead it'll just trickle far down, and now the offensive player for Pinkerton runs right into the keeper, Carolyn Kemp.
And I think the official on the far side, it wasn't clear, but I believe he signaled with one arm, play on.
Okay.
To advantage, the ball came right out, went up the field, and did go to a Bedford player. Now Bedford did get the throw in as well. He could have called that back. If the ball went straight out of bounds or something, he should have called it back then. And that is an appropriate mechanic.
Is there any kind of a defenseless player rule that you would see applied to a quarterback? Like, is it if the keeper is going to get the ball and you lower a shoulder, does that result in anything different than the keeper does not receive any special treatment, I guess is what I'm
not
going after?
Not really. However, this ball is
beautiful ball, just over the end line. From our trajectory, yeah. From our positioning, it looked like it had a shot to go upper 90, but did not.
Yeah, officials tend to protect the keeper. They may not call fouls out in the field that they will call when there's contact with the keeper. The keeper's hands going out in front of them, their face, the whole thing, entirely different position. However, there are no special rules. The only thing in soccer, to a certain extent, is a cleat, raised cleat at another player. If you're sliding or something, where that might definitely be worth a yellow card, caution versus just sliding with your feet in your play may just be a foul. That's the only clear distinction, I would say.
Ball sent up by Pinkerton. Now McKenna Snow comes up with it. She will thread the needle on offense. Tried to find Annie Zink up the far sideline, but could not find Annie. And that is going to do it for us here in half number 1. Bulldogs got their goal just under 8 minutes ago off a corner kick. Vashi Bajpai knocking it in from Lila Yater off the Nora Ripple corner. So we will take a quick break, come right back. You are listening to and watching Bedford Bulldogs girls soccer on BCTV. Back here for half number 2 of Bedford Bulldogs girls soccer. Lauren Fox alongside Bill Klein, the one and only Bill Klein. The Bulldogs lead at 1-0. They got their goal, the only goal of the game, by way of a Vashi Bajpai send off a corner kick from Lila Yater. The corner kick actually came in from Nora Ripple, but it was Lila Yater, the freshman, redirecting it.
So the last 2 goals scored for or against Bedford were both corner kicks, correct?
Yeah, so I would have, there was the Memorial game in the mix too, but So what was the stat you gave about corner kicks? What
Very
is
high percentage of goals are scored off that set play.
Okay.
And it's like equal to direct free kicks from outside the area,
Okay.
which there are a lot more of,
Yes.
but the corner kicks have a higher percentage.
So what percentage, like, I mean, when you say a higher percentage, what are we talking about?
Just simply relatively speaking, that many goals are scored from corners. It's one of the statistics that is tracked by teams above high school level. Pro college teams track and post the number of corners.
Right.
That's how important they are.
I mean, it does show up. Old scoreboards, and we don't have it here, but I've seen them that show corner kicks.
You're right.
On them.
I've forgotten that.
So I mean, obviously that's something that's relevant, but do you think? I mean, and this is more of a I guess philosophical soccer question: is the ball going over the end line off a defensive team? Is that too steep of a penalty then? Too steep of a price to pay for that, like a minor infraction?
How long have these guys been playing this game?
That's what I'm saying. I realize.
There have been a few rule changes, but that's something that's been consistent way back. You know what, though? You remember lacrosse rules going way back? I shouldn't say the rules. The way it was played. Lacrosse, I don't know how many years we have to go back. Maybe 100 now, because I'm old. So, I mean, this is really old. There were no lines. You had 2 goals. They could go anywhere.
There are lines.
It was unrestricted.
Lacrosse.
Not any. There are now.
Okay.
But 100 years.
Right.
Well, I'm saying 100 years ago.
Yes.
But soccer, football, international football has not really changed many things at all. And that's one of the things that the corner kick is a kick to restart versus the throw in from the touchline.
Pinkerton back the other way. Now Bedford steals. Addie Kiley with it. Sends it to Anna Diaz, and Addie will move back to the back line again. But, boy, is she talented up there. And now the ball will roll out of bounds up the far side.
I'll be teaching the history of soccer 102 at the college next semester. If anybody wants to take that, it's a fascinating.
For real or for fake? Are you
fake,
putting me
of course.
on? Okay.
I'm putting you on.
No, I mean you should be.
But there are a few things that are interesting the way things have changed. Most of it has been minor things, and but the corner kick, it's practiced. You can practice penalty kicks, direct free kicks.
I guess my question is, do you think the proficiency of players in 2024 is superior to what it was back when?
Oh, absolutely. Especially the girls' match. Women's soccer has come up a huge amount. And all over the country, where were there hot spots years ago? New England was not that good a soccer hotbed, except around the cities with foreign people that were, the Portuguese and Latinos and whatnot.
So this is a programming item for Andrew in that I just took out the earpiece because I was getting all kinds of feedback. So our fans get to know that, anybody who's watching, but I'm telling you that I took the earpiece out because I was hearing everything twice, which was disconcerting. I didn't realize how much I hated the sound of my own voice until just now.
Honestly, I totally disagree with you. I think you have one of the best voices.
That's not what I'm. I hate the sound of my own voice. I empathize for everybody who is listening to this game that they'd have to tolerate me. Oh. So with that said, 35 minutes remaining here in the game. The Bulldogs of Bedford on top 1-0 over these Pinkerton Astros.
Obviously, the Bulldogs would love to get a go-ahead goal to be up by 2 goals instead of just the 1.
They would welcome that. Kenzie Forrester up here on the left side, which is where she usually finds her home. Annie Zink over on the far side for the Bulldogs. And Cece Irwin at striker now for the Dogs as well. Now Anna Diaz with a beautiful header up the far side. And Pinkerton tried to control. Could not. Annie Zink winds up knocking it out of bounds, and it'll be a Bedford throw. The Pinkerton fans travel well, at least not in gigantic numbers, but they have certainly come ready to make a little bit of noise. And the Bulldog fans here as well saw a number of students on the way to the car at halftime.
I'm not positive, but I think we have 2 soccer teams. I think they may be the Pinkerton soccer players.
They could very well be. They played
And
earlier,
to our
obviously.
left, I see a couple.
You're thinking Bedford Bulldogs as
Yeah, I
well?
think
We're steaming up the windows here in the
Wouldn't
press
be
box
surprised.
right now, making things a little bit difficult. It's like being in the car on a summer night, I guess.
The advantage we have over the camera crew that's up on the roof is it's a little warmer here. It is getting chilly outside for the first time
It
today,
is
anyway.
undoubtedly easier to see up there, though. And thank you for what you said about my voice, even though I disagreed and did not take the compliment. I will work on that.
How many people are aware of the fact that you actually have been a professional sports announcer? Truly professional, major league.
No, not major. I was, yes, I did a lot. I did
Yes, you
college
have.
and I did pro,
Yeah.
but not like the dudes in the majors. Like that would have been. But, you never know. There's still a chance.
You're still young.
Joe Castiglione's seat is still warm.
There you go.
There's an option. 33-10 left here, and Pinkerton giving it a try. Kayla Silvera will send it in, and Meredith Reich finds her way to it. Now tries to send it back out, but can't clear. And back the other way, Pinkerton. They are certainly making more of a focus on their offense and send it in the box, and it is handled there by Carolyn Kemp. Carolyn sends it toward midfield. Pinkerton tried the first touch. Vashi winds up coming up with it off the rebound and then finds her pocket pick.
Yeah.
Bella Sipple tried to send it back to the middle. Couldn't. She is a sprinter, as we talked about with her dad at halftime. A track star, and of course she is quick. I mentioned to him, and of course these track girls who know each other, and now we got a couple bodies on the floor, but we'll see who winds up getting called for it there. It looks like the Bulldogs will get nabbed for that penalty at the 35.
Yeah, that was
First and 10.
That was strange. The official on the far side did not signal the direction. The signal on this side did. Of course, sometimes they say the color or the team, white, which is just confusing, not the right way to do it.
So Pinkerton sends it in. Carolyn Kemp going after it, and instead wisely allows it to bounce over the end line, and it will be a goal kick for the Bedford Bulldogs. Pinkerton lost last time out in what I would consider to be an offensive battle between two very good teams. Pinkerton lost 4-3 against BG, so surprising. A lot of offensive output there between two good teams. We don't see scores like that. We're seeing a lot of blowouts and a lot of low-scoring games, but the 4-3, the 3-2 are not a frequent occurrence. And Jenna Dindorf into the game for the Dogs. Now had it sent to her, tried to control near side, couldn't, and now back the other way come the Astros, and this one now back to be playing within the 35. Another player there for Pinkerton, Kara Mond, with a guard on her left wrist as well. So interesting that two of the 11 Pinkerton players have that wrist brace of some sort. And now Pinkerton with Maura Smith up there in front, trying to get that goal. Great touch for her, and sends it to Mon. Mon takes a shot, can't keep it in, and now it will be a corner kick coming. Ball went off the foot of one of the Bedford defenders.
Hey, we're fucking white, let's go! What up, Caleb?
Been very, very few fouls this evening. It's interesting. And there's been a little bit of hard play. There was just about a minute ago, there was a hard contact shoulder to shoulder, though upright around midfield, no call, which is probably the right thing.
Silvera takes the corner, sends it into the box. Smith tried to head it, couldn't. And now the Bulldogs will attempt to clear, can't. Now sent to the keeper, Carolyn Kemp. Boy, great play by Carolyn. Stretching about as high as she can, and a little bit of credit card leap.
and follow the shots. Smith was right there. Interesting move from defensive play right up to center striker. Clearly.
Tell you what, though, she looks as if she is extremely comfortable up there. One of her first moves once she got up there was to thread the needle with a beautiful pass. So, got to say, Danielle Rappa, the coach of these Pinkerton Astros, probably wishes she had another Maura Smith.
And I was just going to say something about the coaching at Pinkerton. Bob Royce, the athletic director over there, has consistently found excellent coaches for all of their sports. They're competitive year after year after year after year.
And in some cases, they don't have to. That baseball program is good year in and year but
yes.
They've had consistent coaching within that program year in and year out. And, of course, there is a lot of talent there, but the coaches have been the consistent theme, the thread running through the program.
Now we have the ball for the first time this half, really controlled by Bedford, attacking.
And we'll see if they can take advantage of the fact that Maura Smith is standing right around midfield. She's been a big presence on defense for the Astros, and as a striker, she's not moving away from where she is, right at the football 50, thereabouts. Ball sent out of bounds by Pinkerton, and it will be a Bedford throw coming. It's a gamble to do that. It would be the thing that I would liken it to would be the Bulldogs doing it with McKenna Snow.
Absolutely. Yeah,
which, I mean, she's a player, McKenna, that you could easily send out in that spot and not lose anything.
More often than anything else, what you see is a player who will go up for a few minutes. But it looks, as of now, that Miss Smith is hanging down that striker position.
I like it. From a making the game more exciting standpoint, love it. And she has been an impact player to this point in the game, and we'll see if she's able to do the same now.
Obviously, Pinkerton needs a goal. If they don't get a goal, it's going to be a 1 or 2-0 loss or something, probably. So that type of a chance to take, who knows if she's got experience there or not. It may not matter.
And the Astros have been blanked once to this point in the season. They got shut out 1-0 by Goffstown. Now send it up the far side. McKenna Snow fighting for it. I should say, not McKenna. I believe that's Addie Kiley fighting for it with Maura Smith. And Maura now sneaks it right through to another offensive player. And they were double teaming her down there. And now Anna Diaz will come up with it. Tried to send it to midfield, finds Libby Fox. Libby taking her time, gets it back to Anna. Anna looking far side to Annie Zink. Annie tried to keep it in bounds, but it looked like it went off of Pinkerton. It will be a Bedford throw coming, and the Bulldogs flip the field.
Yeah, that was interesting. They got the ball to Smith down there in the left corner, and the Pinkerton side, the Astros almost capitalized with a pass after the control and the one-on-one fighting that was going on down there between the Bulldog and the Astro.
Now it's another dog throw coming. And Pinkerton will send it out of bounds again. Bulldogs have another throw coming for Bedford, and we've had the broadcaster jinx, but the other way. It'd be nice to see an insurance goal here. A chance to take a little bit of a breath.
I'm afraid to say anything at all, Mr. Fox.
I've been on the good side of those, at least. This year. We haven't done a ton of games this year, really. I mean, if you think about it.
Nope.
And we'll have senior night next Tuesday, and that's going to do it, at least for home non-playoff game, non-playoff games. Ball sent out, and Vashi gives chase, and back the other way they come. Addie Kiley doing a great job. Now she'll bring it into the offensive end, does Addie, and sends it up front. And now Annie Zink fighting for the ball. Can't get it. Pinkerton goes to clear again. Finds Maura Smith. Back the other way is Addie Kiley. Boy, she turns on the Jets there. McKenna Snow is in the middle. And Smith gives it up. And now Pinkerton trying to do a little bit of something, but can't. Anna Diaz tries to clear. And now back the other way.
I think that was the same connection in that left corner from last time. Smith had the ball.
They keep trying.
Gave it to the
They've
same
tried
player.
It a couple times.
Yep. I can't quite see the number on that player.
We got this double pane glass in here. Not really helping matters. Vashi to the middle. Now to Anna Diaz. Try to get it to Libby. And
really trying to thread the needle now. Libby taking her time, looks far side. Now up that far sideline, Libby giving chase, full sprint, and the keeper, Lenarski, will come up with it and will attempt to send it out here.
What I would like to see would be a cross from that wing side instead of continuing straight down towards the goal. That's not been effective. If they can connect on a cross, that would open up, spread the field again, and I think that would help stymie the defensive tactics that the Astros are playing tonight with the extra back.
You say a line and a cross. Anna to Sloan. I'll let you think about that. To the 41. Now to Cece.
I'm going to have to listen to it on replay.
Looking far side.
Lauren.
And nothing doing over there. It'll be a Pinkerton throw coming. No, it's I hear what you're saying. It's a matter of expanding the field wide and crashing in the middle. So using the speed players, the burners kind of outside.
And what you're taking away when you also do that cross is what we've seen 3 or 4 times is the way that ball was just played. It goes to the keeper.
Yes.
Too often. Higher percentage, a better potential better pass would be to cross it, get the keeper out of position now, and be able to play it back into the middle from the cross.
That one checked up.
The field.
That one checked up after it got into the air. Now Anna Diaz breaks up that pass. It'll be a Pinkerton throw coming, and again to Steve Keller's point, the ball girl running around like a fiend, doing an excellent job tonight. Jenna Dindorf trying to clear for the Bulldogs, couldn't, and now back to the middle. Sloan Correa trying to do her job to divest that player of the ball, can't, and it looks like it will be a penalty kick coming, not a penalty kick coming, a free kick coming. No, not
don't scare people.
PK. Yep, nope. Well, I mean, this one's not a whole lot better for the Bulldogs.
No.
You got to put a couple phone books under Carolyn Kemp here.
Good coordination by
Not
both
an
officials
easy
to
one.
position the ball where it should be.
Yep,
the
ball
trailing
at
official
the
coming
football
down.
20, so this one from 30. The wall for the Bulldogs of 3 of them. Now 4. And the ball sent in. And Laura Smith with a header. Carolyn Kemp volleys it,
oh my
catches
gosh.
it, and the Bulldogs still hanging on to that 1-0 lead.
That needed the save. It wasn't. Was redirected very, very nicely.
Again, she
Perfect skill.
can play that game, man.
Wow, that was impressive. And the key for the defense, the only thing to be said positive for Bedford is the keeper was in the exact best position possible and didn't make a mistake.
Read the play very well, she did.
Nicely played.
As I speak like Yoda.
Wow.
Now back the other way. Pinkerton, a quick throw sent out of bounds by the Bulldogs, and somehow that one stayed in. I'm not quite sure how. Thought I heard a whistle, nothing. And now up the far side. And now the ball to the back line, and Pinkerton just sending it around, and Cece Irwin gets thrown to the turf. No call there. Now Anna Diaz will send one up. Jenna Dindorf tried a header, couldn't, and now back the other way. This game is kind of kicked up a notch. Sure feels that way. That one sent over top, and we'll see, is there a bounce? The Bulldogs sure need one. Libby gives chase, can't come up with it. Now the ball back far side, or near side I should say, trying to beat Jenna off the dribble, and Jenna gets run through, and the ball wounds up off the foot of... Looked like it went off the foot of the Pinkerton player, but not the case apparently. I thought it went off the foot of Anna Martell, but we do not have a 12 on our roster, so I'm just going to put up with it, I guess. There's an 11 and a 13.
Yeah, and I think there was a 7, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm seeing things.
It could
no, there is a 7 right here.
Now the ball sent through. Libby giving chase. See if she can beat her player. Nobody with her. She thought about a cross. Now she sends it off her player. And now out of bounds. It'll be a Bulldog throw coming from the near side. We'll see who takes it. Great idea by Cece Irwin, trying to send it through and basically turn that into a sprint.
Lauren, please tell me that is a 7 there. The player closest to us right now, I think it's very clearly.
I don't know. I got to stick my head out the window for that one like a dog. That is a 7, and we don't have one. We don't have one of those on the roster.
There's a whole pile.
Nope.
If this was football, there would be penalty flags all over the place being flipped.
That's a penalty in football?
I think it is. Yeah, isn't it illegal? Numbering
Illegal
of
dude doesn't have the right number on his roster.
Oh yeah, I see a number of people are shaking their heads up here.
I don't know. Steve does a lot of football. I am hopeful that I can get on the football broadcast tomorrow night. I'm not sure that's what Corey Munster-Tiger or Harry Kozlowski want, but come and talk some football. I know that football better than this one. Bulldogs leading here 1-0, 18:30 remaining in the game.
Is it a big game?
No, it's Merrimack. Well, I don't want to give them. I'm not going to give them bulletin board material. You mentioned the Bulldogs have won by what, 21 a game, give or take?
No. They've scored 35 points, 4 games in a row.
Okay.
35, 35,
so
35.
They've done their offense is good and their defense is good, so that's going to make it tough for whoever they're playing against.
And they were down 14-0 up in Saco, Maine.
Yes.
Against Thornton Academy, and came back. Did not allow Thornton to score another point, period. Touchdown, field goal, safety. Is there any other way to score in football?
Missed extra point that's returned the other direction. That one sent up and over. And CC now at striker, Libby at left wing. That one sent over the top. Maura Smith with a chance in it. Carolyn Kemp coming up big, fielding it on the hop. And the Bulldogs will cling to their 1-goal lead. Pinkerton's not going to feel like words are hard. This Pinkerton Astro team is leaving it all out there, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Yes.
Anna Diaz looked back for her teammate Nora Ripple, and I think she thought that our referee Andy Paul was Nora. Andy's wearing red. That's got to be an illegal throw, Bill.
I thought it could have been. I did a double take on it. We have seen a couple.
Now CeCe Irwin gets run through. Bill Klein wants to know where the whistle is. Kayla McDonough called for the penalty, and it will be a Bedford kick coming from somewhere in the football 32-ish.
Yeah, that's the only time that in my field of vision the trailing official was not hustling down the field to be close to make that call. Both officials were a long way away.
So
draw back to the 2 minutes.
McKenna Snow will take this kick here. And the wall is moving, kind of like a video game.
A little chip.
And she chips it up. Bashi had a chance at it, couldn't come up with it. And it looked like Meredith Reich also had a shot at it, but nobody able to come up with it. And it will be a corner or a goal kick, I should say, coming up for these Pinkerton Astros as Kenzie Forrester comes in. Libby Fox goes out.
16 minutes to go. That's the first time we went back and forth from one end of the field to the other as well with scoring opportunities, or close to scoring opportunities, for quite a while.
That was a unique one, though. It was a kick that was reasonably high percentage, but the Bulldogs didn't get a great opportunity at it. It was just a little bit out of sync on offense. And now a Pinkerton player on the ground is Caitlin McDonough, the sophomore. The official, Chris Morgan, over to speak to her. What were you chuckling at that you saw?
The Bedford player was going to restart the throw from almost 20 yards down the field from where the ball went out. And
not so fast, my friend. As Lee Corso would say.
There were 2 whistles. The one whistle on our side and the one whistle by the official on the far side that stopped because of the injury.
So the game stopped for McDonough's injury. She will remain in the game. So this is not like the NFL where if you stop play because of an injury, you can stay.
No, she went out.
She did go out.
She did go out.
Okay. I thought it was 11 who was sitting down, but
I think it was 11 and 9 that were there. I'm not positive.
I'm confused by the
Isabel,
numbering.
the senior. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Isabella Sipple was the one who went out, number 3.
So.
Okay. And that is a big loss for this Pinkerton Astro team.
Isabel Rolfe. There's
Isabel Rolfe,
There's two
okay.
Isabels, which
Well,
I didn't notice
Isabel,
until
the
just
other one
now.
is Isabella and goes by Bella.
You're
So,
right.
so it'll be a Bulldog throw. All right. We also don't know who number 7 or number 12 are, but trivial items. The ball sent in. Kenzie Forrester had a chance at it, couldn't come up with it. Now a good no call there,
Nice.
and the call made. Did he hold up a
That
no
was
advantage and then it was advantage?
Yes.
And, okay.
Yes. I think that's what it was, because you said good no call.
I thought it wasn't. I thought it was a no call because it was two players pursuing a ball on a line.
Yeah.
Where did you see the penalty?
I blew my whistle. Didn't you hear me?
Yes, loudly. Struggling now. McKenna Snow sends it into the box. Oh boy, it looked like we might have had a handball there. I'd like to go back and watch that one later. It looked like it caught a hand and not a shoulder.
I saw something, but that's one of the times where a post in front of us. We've got posts all the way down
it
here.
looked like it caught an appendage. Pinkerton fans watching are like,
appendage.
who are these guys? Complete Bedford partisan fans broadcasting the game.
Do you remember the
No. Unlikely.
final score is 4-1?
Yeah.
Hanover.
Yeah.
The Hanover game.
I thought
and
it was
the
4-0.
one goal. We thought it should have been 4-0. Hanover scored on a direct free kick,
Ah, there you go. Okay.
and we questioned whether or not it was a foul. And I went home, found it, rewound it 5 times, and ended up saying, you know what? I think it is a foul. I think it is a foul. Do we have corrections on the numbers of the players? I think
We have new players,
new players have been added. They were
which
flown.
is
in,
somewhat mysterious.
they were flown in by
Thank you, Steve.
hot air balloon.
I do not know,
At halftime?
but regardless. No, I mean, they've been here all along, but we just didn't have them. So Courtney Russell's number 7, Sydney Sullivan number 12, but we didn't have either of them on our dance card.
And Steve, we will give you props on that one. Thank you very much.
Steve's getting all kinds of run tonight.
And we've gotten a few phone calls here from fans that are watching the game, and they said to give.
Irate.
No, they were all saying the same thing. They're happy with Bill Jennings on the camera.
I think Colleen's on the camera right now. Nora Ripple sends it in, tries to find Cece. Now the ball is sent out of bounds near side, and it will be one lucky fan gets a souvenir. It went into the stands.
Can they keep that?
They should. If I had a soccer ball just come into my lap, I would probably just run to the parking lot.
How many baseballs does the average major league game go through?
I don't have an answer for that. I do know that in the minors we used to go through about 8 dozen a game, but in the majors they go through an absurd amount of baseballs now because they don't let them ride.
Yes.
Like they're
Crazy.
always pulling them out of games. But I don't have an answer for you. And any time a baseball leaves a game, it's immediately authenticated and ready to be sold if it doesn't go into the stands. Now Cece Irwin heading to the corner, beats her player to the ball, tries to send it to the middle, and instead it is sent out of bounds by Pinkerton. It will be a Bedford throw coming from Kenzie Forrester. Is it about the football 5? But my guess was it was going to be a little further up than that.
Nice defensive play by the Astros to not give up a corner. How they got beat earlier.
Nora, great job to send it in for the Bulldogs and see if they can hold it in. Ball going far side, running like a bat out of hell is Annie Zink. But what's new about that? Nothing.
Okay. One thing consistent in the last 3 years that. Whoa. Oh, missed kick.
Yep, fan on it. And Pinkerton somehow winds up being able to clear it. Now Maura Smith with it. And Bedford picks the pocket there. Meredith Reich will send it up. Now Vashi tries to keep it in. Over to the far side. And
Bedford throw again.
it will be a Bedford throw coming. Vashi fighting. Took a turn, instead took a dribble. And it will go out of bounds.
Out of bounds, or did he blow the whistle for a foul? I think it's. I couldn't tell.
Ball rattling around in the box. Difficult to make out who's who for the Bulldogs from the angle we are enjoying this game at. Annie Zink Now to Anna Diaz,
Nice
who
play
sends
here.
it into the box. Beautiful touch, and a corner kick is coming from the Bulldogs. Not really a whole lot of options for Pinkerton at that point. You really just want to turn around that ball and send it out of bounds, but unable to do that. And now the corner kick coming, and it's a touch.
There's the short corner.
Short corner.
Quickly
Anna's
played,
left
well
foot
done.
in. Looked like it might have gone off a hand, and now the left foot of Meredith Reich. And now the ball still rattling around. Cece Irwin will send it into the goal. Holy cow, a complete breakdown for the Pinkerton Astros.
Oh my gosh.
You had a number of players all surrounding that play, and nobody was able to clear the ball. The keeper was laying down. There's not a whole lot she could do on that play. And a few Bulldogs had a bite at that apple, and Cece Irwin's one who finally converted it.
Corners. And
Twice.
the surprise of the short corner, which one of our friends up here in the booth, Corey, Munson Tiger, said, "What, they never do anything." Well, guess what? That's the second one that we've seen, and we've only broadcast a couple games. Beautifully played, and I love the way when it was done with less than 10 minutes left in the game, after scoring on a corner, but to bring it to a 2-goal advantage at this point. That was so well played. I love it.
It was a unique play in that Pinkerton had all kinds of opportunities to clear that ball out of the box, and it was the players almost just sort of froze. That was the best way that I can put it. Is it seemed like nobody really wanted a whole lot to do with it. What did you see? Why are you giving me the server hand?
I thought that was going to come back for a foul against the Astros. The official actually put the whistle up in his mouth, and it looked like he was starting to say play on, but he didn't blow the whistle. Baseball, it's like you start to move one arm up overhead when you're the base umpire.
You
what
see,
does that mean?
Yeah, it's You don't see that as much at the major league level. At the major league level, you see guys wait to make a call. At the younger, lower levels, you see a guy maybe go up with the hand and then make the safe call. And you're on a tag play, you can understand it. May or may not be that the ball was possessed by the player, but even still, Bulldogs now lead it 2-0. That goal coming at 9:48 of the second half from Cece Irwin off the assist from Meredith Reich off the short corner that went to Anna Diaz that almost caught Pinkerton flat-footed, I guess would be the best way to put it. And when you have a player like Anna Diaz who can control the ball out there and nobody is marking her, it's almost like, I guess if you were playing basketball, you give your point guard the ball and say, create. And she has that level of ball control on the soccer field that all of a sudden all she's doing is shortening the field and cutting off angles.
In the first part of what you just said, Anna Diaz, the coach gets an assist on that goal for putting the right players together that could do that, the quick corner and with the ball control that's so necessary. Well done by the Bulldog side.
Ball sent up the far side to Cece Irwin. She does not win the race to the ball, but she forces Pinkerton to send the ball out and winds up getting the Bulldogs possession all the way in the offensive end. It goes off the boot of Annie Zink, and it'll be a Pinkerton throw, and the Bulldogs in the driver's seat here up 2-0, just over 7 minutes left.
Is Smith out of the game? I think she is. I don't believe I see her in the field.
Now McKenna Snow cuts the ball off. Now Carolyn Kemp will send it back out. Good calm play
Nice
by
job.
Carolyn.
Very nice. Yes.
Nora Ripple looking up top to Cece Irwin. May have had, I keep hallucinating
The handball?
handballs. Yeah, did you see one there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Like, that one looked like it bounced up and it caught her hand as she was running.
It happened so quickly from the angle, it's possible it was blocked by the only official that could have called it is this near side one. He's pretty far away.
Kenna sends it to midfield to Cece.
Foul.
And she gets pounded a little bit there by Cammie McNulty. And back the other way they come.
Oh, nice jump.
And, man, I got to...
Was that another handball?
Yeah.
and gained a clear advantage as well.
Yeah.
And where it was, that was
like at the 5:58 mark. I got to write that one down.
You're doing good, Lauren. I think we're going to get a uniform on you. Referees.
No, I'm obviously with a two-person crew, you're not going to see all this stuff, and I realize that. But
it's the biggest drawback is that you are not going to have an official in a good position to make a lot of calls in a two-man system, dual system of control. That's what they call it.
Now the ball threaded through. Anna Diaz will send it up the left side. Kenzie Forrester with a chance at it. Pinkerton just sends it out of bounds, and it will be a Bedford throw coming.
That was the kind of change of field across. A little different than the way it looked previously when it was wider on the far side, but that, could have produced something. And it didn't go to the keeper.
I liked how you drew it up. Throw coming. Nora Ripple will take it. CeCe Irwin shoved in the back, and we're at the under 5 moment here of the game. So the clock ticking, the timer on. Know that we're probably going to have a little bit of injury time, I would think.
Thank you for starting that. I left my watch at home.
Do you not have an iPhone, Bill?
I do, but it's in my pocket.
Oh.
I have a lot of pockets. I don't know which pocket it's in. Quick comment relative to the boys' game here versus Goffstown. At the when we had 5 minutes left.
Yes.
You know how long the game continued for?
How long?
8.
Really? Why?
Yeah. The officials goofed up on the time. When the clock stopped at 5, I glanced at the time, and it was 8 minutes later.
I have people that know this game better than I do, and the conversations that we have had are about the fact that it is such a bizarre artifact of this game that you have the time kept partially on the field and partially by hand.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Pinkerton takes a shot on goal. McKenna Snow gets her foot in the way of the ball, attempts to send it back out. Pinkerton goes for another shot, and instead that one cleared by Nora Ripple and a delayed penalty called. And I don't know which Bulldog it was on, perhaps Sloan Correa, but regardless, Kayla Silvera will take the shot from the football 20, or from the football 15, I should say. The Bulldogs can't get away with it. They have to be 10 yards back. And that one will be sent through the uprights, but that's not worth anything in this game.
No, I honestly, the reaction that the Bedford girls gave to that call, I agree with them. I don't think that was a foul. The girl kicked at the ball and got the ball and did not kick the player, did not trip the player. It looked like it could have been from some angle, but was not a trip.
It looked like the foul might have occurred earlier in that sequence, and it wasn't called. And then once they lost possession, the foul happened. But again, once you've had your advantage, you don't get to go back and kind of get a redo.
Right.
So we are, by my clock, about 2.5 minutes left here in the game, and it goes out of bounds off the official, but regardless, the last player to touch it was Pinkerton Astro.
Instead of the real quick throw-ins that we've seen there, throwing by Astros, take her time a little bit more, not unsportsmanlike delay, just taking her time. Nicely done.
Nora, CeCe, now back to CeCe. And fighting for the ball with Sydney Sullivan. Now Vashi with it. Vashi.
Nice turn.
Good.
Great distribution. Turn. Change the field.
Anna Diaz will just send it way up the left side. Annie Zink still going full speed over there. And right back the other way come the Pinkerton Astros, trying at least. The Astros without Smith. I don't know if she was injured but regardless, winds up leaving the game. Great ball sent in. I believe that was Kenzie Forrester that sent that one in, and now Annie Zink will battle for it along the end line, but what were you looking for?
Wasn't sure where the whistle blew. I thought he blew the whistle before the ball went out of bounds. Now we have multiple balls.
So we are in the under 5. The Bulldogs leading the Pinkerton Astros by the score of 2-0. And the Astros will send it out of bounds on the near side.
I hope that Smith is not in fact injured, but I saw earlier she left the game one time and went right down to the ground off the field in front of the bench. It looked like she was grabbing one of her ankles or legs.
Which game were you referencing that went 8 minutes hand time? You say Goffstown Hanover?
Goffstown.
Against Bedford?
Against Bedford, yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And, of course, the Classic was 2 years ago now,
Yeah.
a playoff game. The
16 minutes.
16 minutes. Yeah.
Was that here?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yep.
I think it may have been Hopkinton in the game.
There you go. This
we got
one,
a game. We got
right
a game.
about 5 minutes. So thought we had a little bit of injury time, but the officials thought otherwise. And as a result, the final here, Bedford 2 and Pinkerton nothing. The Bulldogs knew this was going to be a tough fight going in and got goals off of corner kicks, both of them. The first one coming at 7:40 in the first, 32:40 or 32:20, I guess, if you're a soccer person and count that way. And that one, Bashi Bajpai from Lila Yater. And then the second one at 30:12 for the Bulldogs. And it was CeCe Irwin from Meredith Reich off a corner kick, short corner, from Anna Diaz. So in both cases, the Bulldogs wound up getting goals by way of the corner kick. So our final score, 2-0. Bill Klein, anything you want to add before we send it home?
Quick shout out to
I sent it over to him and he coughs.
excuse me, yeah.
Yep.
The rest of our staff, Bill Jennings and Colleen up above us, Andrew Fenn back at the main office, and that was a great win, especially like we talked about earlier in the game after coming home, the long ride from the coast, which has been I think sometimes closer to the end of the season that the Bedford girls have gone out that direction and lost to Winnicott at Portsmouth. Playoff game, a regular season game. Pinkerton will be playing Merrimack, not till next week. The Bedford side is also on the 8th. They will be playing
Senior
Nashua
night.
North at home.
7
Senior
o'clock.
night.
We will be here broadcasting the game senior night at 7 o'clock. So come join us here at Bulldog Stadium. The Bulldogs improved to 10-1 on the regular season. Pinkerton falls to 5-3-2. And for my broadcast partner, Bill Klein, as well as Bill Jennings and Colleen Richardson and Andrew Fenn back at the BC TV studios, I am Lauren Fox. Again, your final score, Bedford 2 and Pinkerton nothing. Thanks for watching Girls Soccer on BC TV.